Hello, I'm Commander WiggyB. This is Elite Dangerous version 2.4, and welcome to the first video in a new Thargoid series. In this video, I'm going to be describing how to use, and how not to use, the experimental field neutralizer utility. When correctly deployed, this device defeats the bug's attempts to power down human ships. Its operation is relatively simple, but does require a few steps, a bit of nerve, and precise timing. This video was filmed while I was exploring in the Pleiades sector. The footage is therefore drawn from various hyperdictions rather than combat. I'll be focusing on assertive interspecies negotiation in future episodes. Before we go on, I'm playing using the Horizons expansion on Xbox One, but don't worry, the tips I'm going to describe are applicable to all platforms. Okay, so let's begin with where to buy a shutdown field neutralizer. Following the community goal that led to its development, the device became available from a variety of high-tech surface ports. If you're hunting or researching Thargoids, then you're likely to be out of the bubble, near the Palin Research Centre in Maya. I went to the nearby Blackmount habitation in HIP 17692. All the current experimental items are available here. As the port has a shipyard, it makes a good base for Thargoid operations. It would also seem to be attracting fewer PvP enthusiasts than Merope and Maya. Be careful when landing though, as it's a 1.2G planet. Once you're in outfitting, the neutralizer can be found in the Utilities section under the Experimental category. As the device emits a pulse in all directions, it may be fitted in any slot without penalty. The cost is also reasonable, at around 62k. Power draw is relatively low at 0.2 megawatts. Active power draw is listed as 0.25 megawatts, although testing suggests a significantly higher figure given the capabilities of the distributors on my ships. But more on this later. So now out into space for some basic testing. The field neutralizer works in an equivalent manner to an electronic countermeasure. The device is first charged and then released at the appropriate time. When active, the device draws power from the system's capacitor. If the capacitor reaches empty, then the pulse is released without pilot action, as shown here. System capacity therefore has a significant effect on the duration of the hold period. My courier's stock 3A power distributor has a specified capacity of 18 megawatts. This is clearly dimensional nonsense, as the watt is a measure of instantaneous power dissipation, so we'll assume that FDev actually means that the system capacitor can hold 18 megajoules of energy. System recharge is listed at 1.3 megawatts per second. Again, dimensional nonsense, so we'll assume they mean megawatts. Given that the ship's recharge rate is greater than the neutralizer's power draw, it would be reasonable to assume that the capacitor would never discharge. In reality, start of charge to involuntary release takes a little over 5 seconds with 4 pips in systems. Repeating this test in my Battleconda, with its 42 megajoule systems capacitor and 6.9 megawatt recharge rate, results in a significantly longer charge and hold time of around 12 seconds. Okay, so let's start annoying Thargoids. In this first example, I started charging the neutralizer as soon as I was pulled from witch space. The instant my system's cap was empty, the pulse released automatically. Unfortunately, this was long before one of the bugs triggered its energy surge. The reset of the neutralizer takes several seconds, and as a result, I was soon dead in space and a sitting duck. In this next encounter, I began charging the neutralizer when I received the energy surge detected warning. I then fired the pulse as soon as the bug released its surge. Unfortunately, this was also unsuccessful, as the shutdown field hadn't yet reached my ship. Here it is again in slow motion. You can clearly see that my neutralizer fires just before the field hits. In this next clip, I am able to successfully avoid being shut down. The Thargoid field washes over the ship just before my system's capacitor runs out of charge. This does piss the bug off, but I'm able to boost away and avoid damage. Here's another example from a bit further away. This time I waited a couple of seconds after the warning before charging the neutralizer. In this next clip, I waited as long as possible after the field passing over the ship before neutralizing. This was still successful, and I was so surprised that I rammed the bug. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please do leave a like and a comment. If you hated it, please let me know why. Constructive criticism will be gratefully received. 07 Commanders, WikiB out.